somebody called me sometime and gave me a piece of land way up on the hills in another place. And an Italian friend of mine went and he put some roads in it, but the land wasn't good. The rain came and like here, it washed everything down. So the bishop called me, he said, look, you know something, that is terrible. If you want, give the archdiocese that land, and I have somebody will donate another piece to you. Well, we got this piece of land, first of all. Secondly, well, we had to do a lot of work here with it, you know. We had to cut the hills and so for me. And the hurricane came and just gave us a lot of trouble. To develop this here, because a lot of kids from here in the west part of the island had to come into Kingston, and we have a big AIDS problem here. These cottages are put up so that later we'll ramp up the amount of kids with AIDS and so on. All right. I didn't know where we'll get the money from, because this was going to cost, just to start off, $500,000 US. And we didn't have a cent, you know, to run water, and we had to put up bridges, all long story. Anyway, one day there was someone speaking to a friend of mine who is on the board, and he said he comes to Jamaica to holiday a lot. And a friend of mine had the proposal that I had written. So wherever he goes, you know, he shows somebody to get some money to work with us. And he said, oh, you come to Jamaica? Yeah, he stays at Round Hill, which is a very fancy, one of the high-end places. Ralph Lauren has a house there. Oh. So that's not so mingy after all, right? And the guy used to come here for a couple of years with his family. He said, look, well, we have some priest there who wants to do something in Jamaica, and he needs $500,000. Could you help him a little bit, whatever? Well, next week, we got a call from this guy. He said, look, Father, you know something. And he was very shy about it and so on. He said, look, I want to help you in that program in Montego Bay. What you call it? I didn't have a name for it yet. So he said, look. So I thought he was going to help, you know, $10,000 donation. He sent a check the next week to cover everything. One shot. So I said, blessed assurance. I mean, we are assured that it's going to be done now, and it's a blessing. So we call it blessed assurance. Then, when somebody checked it out, the song Blessed Assurance, did you know, and I didn't know this, it was, right, and it was sung by a woman with disability. She went blind, and she was looking for help from the Lord. She sang this, although she was blind, how he was taking care of her, and somebody gave her a house to live in. And that's where Blessed Assurance, the song, came from. So also, when that happened, we said, okay, this is great. Then a priest came, and I said, you know, we need a bus. We need a bus to get around, because you see how far here is from the doctor and so on. And like that, he got a friend to give us the money to buy a bus, not this one. We still are trying to get the bus in. And another priest came from the Bronx, and I wanted a pickup. And I asked him to help me out. Before he left, after a few days, he gave us the money to get a pickup, which we have ordered. So this place, like, it was totally blessed, is the only program we have had. We have about 14 locations in Jamaica where I haven't had to go far to look for the help. So God is obviously with the program, and he said, look, we'll go with it. So we call it Blessed Assurance.